Hi there. Today we're going to talk about counting music in 4/4 time and figuring out how the duration works with the different notes. So I'm going to get the camera out of the way to start with. We'll be using rests and whole, half, quarter, and eighth notes. When the time signature is 4/4, that means there will be 4 beats in each measure, and the quarter note gets 1 beat. By gets one beat, we mean the duration of the quarter note, like it lasts for an entire beat. Here's an example of what 4/4 time looks like. Just happened to get some music from our friend at D Capella, and this is a copy of the first page of Friend Like Me from Aladdin. And it's maybe hard to see here, but you can see the 4/4 in the soprano line and the mezzo line and the alto line in each of the lines. So that's what the 4/4 looks like in the music. So quarter note receives 1 full beat, and 4/4 time, the duration of the quarter note is 1 beat. The quarter note is filled in and it has a stem. In 4/4 time, the duration of a half note is 2 beats, so it's twice as long as a quarter. You might even say that 2 quarter notes could fit in there. Or if you had 2 quarter notes and they were tied, that would be the same as a half note. In 4/4 time, the duration of a whole note is 4 beats, so twice as long as the half note, 4 times as long as a quarter. And so here's how we count the quarter notes. 4/4 time, here's our 4 beats. Each quarter note lasts for 1 beat, so this is what it looks like. Now, if I'm going to count and clap that rhythm, I'm just going to have 1 on each beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're very steady, 1 on each beat. Ultimately, you're going to get to where you can sing rhythms and then sing them in pitch. So to perform this just as singing, I'd be like, da, 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 da. Each one sustains for 1 full beat. Here is how we count half notes. Notice that each note gets 2 beats, so 2 counts are assigned each. When we're writing the counts in, we write a tie under the counts to indicate that the note sustains for 2 beats. If I'm counting and clapping that, we're going to keep our hands together for 2 counts to show the sustain, because the sound of a clap only lasts a split second, but to show that it sustains, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Singing the half notes, they would sound like da, 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 da. The whole note, 4 beats. So we would show that with the tie of the 4 counts together. You write all 4 counts for the whole note. You put the tie underneath. Clapping it is like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, implying that it is sustained for all 4 counts. Singing it with a pulse would be like da, da. That's those 2 whole notes being sung. So here's how we would count mixed notes. In a 4-measure example, we've got some different notes. Quarter note, each gets 1 beat, 1 count. The half note gets 2, so we got that little tie there. The whole note still gets 4. Now the rests, you count those just like they're a note. So the quarter rest each gets 1 count, half rest gets 2. And when you're doing the counting and clapping, the rest is like this. Your hands are just apart, so it's silent. So if I was going to count and clap this example here, it would be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd encourage you to pause the video, leave it on this particular page, try to figure that out. Make sure you can navigate through some mixed notes like that. Eighth notes. Each eighth note lasts half of a beat in 4/4 time. So in 4/4 time, the duration of 2 eighth notes is a beat. It would take 2 eighth notes to fill the space of 1 beat. This is the one that, most of the time kids get pretty excited about adding the ands in there. They've heard people do that and they're like 1 and 2 and how that's how this works. So you assign the and to the second of each pair of eighth notes. In more sophisticated music, sometimes there'll be a rest here or something else that would make the first eighth note be on the second half of the beat. But when we're paired like this, and for today's lesson, I'm only doing them in pairs on the beat. So first one gets the number, second one gets the and. Please don't make the mistake of 1 and 2, because numbering it differently would imply a different rhythm. This is mixed with a half note here, mixed with quarter notes here. And then you might remember from our first rhythm lesson that the dot adds 1/2 of the note's duration. The half note is normally worth 2. Add 1 more beat. Now that's worth 3. So we actually have a 3 count note in this particular exercise. If I'm counting and clapping it, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm singing this rhythm just on a monotone pitch, but just expressing the rhythm, and I've got a beat like right there, it would be da 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 da. Okay. So your goals in being able to do these basic rhythms, and we'll build on this when we get to more sophisticated things as we go along. Recognize each note and correctly write the counts in 4/4 time. That would be the first thing to do. Analyze it, figure out which ones are the quarter notes, which ones are the half notes, so forth, and add, right in below there, the correct counts. Next would be to perform the rhythm by clapping and counting out loud, as I did with each of those examples. Let's take the skill one step higher and do that with a steady beat. That can be a little bit more tricky, but just try to keep the pulse real steady as you're going along. If you want to download a metronome app or something for your phone so that you can get a steady beat, that would be fine. And ultimately transition to singing the rhythm out loud with a steady beat. Another thing to add to that is always when we are doing the rhythm with the clapping, we say the numbers out loud. That creates the structure like in our thinking and in the music as we're going along, so we always have it framed in the measure and which beat it is, because that matters where the note lands in the measure. So we always, 1 and 2, and you speak the numbers out loud while you are counting. Now you try it. So when the video ends, you'll just freeze it here on this last frame. Write out these 4 measures on paper. Any kind of paper will be fine. Write the correct counts in there. Then try to count and clap the rhythm with a steady beat. There's a good chance that I will have some follow-up directions for you with that, but this would be a good starting point for you to demonstrate that you're getting this figured out. So write out these notes the way you see them with a 4/4 time signature and the bar lines separating the measures. Draw each note carefully and then write the counts underneath. Then practice counting and clapping, doing it with a steady beat, and then ultimately being able just to sing that rhythm.